Okay, so Gadi,
Yes, yes.
now the floor is yours.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Henriette, and I'm with.
Gadi iransubije.
Yeah, we're going to talk about sexual and gender-based violence. Yeah. So we have the outline or the plan of today, which is we are going to start with introduction. Second one is difference between sex and gender, and we are going to look to gender boxes, types of sexual gender-based violence, and the concept. Yeah. I would like to start with asking the question, when was the first time that you realized a boy and girls were treated differently, and how does it make you feel? You are going to write in the chat and then continue with the next slide.
Okay. We would like to see what do you think about this question, please? As my colleague Henriette said, just a simple word, maybe just few words.
Next one, the next slide, please. So we all know personally that gender inequality is a reality in everyone's life, and we mostly feel bad about it. This is why we need to talk about it and see how we can change things. Here there is a difference between sex and gender. We try to summarize. We start with the definition. We see the sex is a biological trait that defines human as male or female. So we can see also the gender is socially constructed laws, behavior, activity, and attribute that society considers appropriate for men and women. So it is determined by anatomy, for the side of sex, determined by anatomy, chromosomes, and hormones. And for the side of gender, determined by culture, society, and upbringing. So from the unchangeable things, on the side of sex, we see gender fixed at the birth. And for the side of gender, it's flexible, can vary across the culture and over time. Example here we see for the sex, we see male and female. For gender, we see masculine and feminine. So I would like to ask a question, like you are going to write in the chat about this question. Write down if the following is sex or gender. Breast, girls wear pink, boys do not cook, and penis. So as you can see, breast is sex according to the definition of we see about the sex and gender, and guess where the pink is the gender. And boys do not cook also is gender. Penis also is sex. We are going to see the gender boxes, but we are going to look at a short video and then come back.
Boys are told to be tough, hide feelings, to man up.
And I'm treated like my sole purpose in life is to be pretty and attract men.
It's all so annoying. Why do you think this happens then?
Well, people have set ideas and beliefs about what's right for boys or girls, what's feminine or masculine. That's gender. Sex and gender are different things. My sex is female, your sex is male. That's biology. Gender roles aren't assigned by biology.
So where do they come from?
Everywhere. Things we see online, on TV, things our families and parents say and do.
I'm put in that gender box and told what to do.
Your gender box doesn't fit you. Mine doesn't fit me either.
Yeah, thank you for watching. I would like to ask, like, what do you understand about these gender boxes? Yeah, from the video we saw.
Yes. Please let us know what did you learn from the video, what did you hear, or what did you observe?
You can write it in the chat. We're going to continue with the next slide. The gender boxes refer to rigid expectations, norms, and laws that society imposes on the people based on their perceiving gender. These boxes limit what men and women are supposed to do, feel, or become. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question, like, how do you like, yeah, what do you think about these gender boxes? Like how men should be in society or women should be in society? What do you think? How they should be?
Henriette, you mean what can we find in those boxes? Male or female boxes?
Yeah.
Okay. Please let us know in the chat or think about it. What can you find or what do you know that is found in male or female box?
Yeah, in female box, we see nurturing, emotions, submissive, caretaker, weak in leadership, should cook, do household chores, etc. For the male boxes, we see strong emotion, aggressive, breadwinner, dominant, to not clean house, washing the dishes, and so on. Yeah. Let's go to the next slide. These boxes limit what men and women are supposed to do, to feel, or to become. Yeah, I give floor to the that and continue.
Yeah, thank you, Henriette. Before we go to the next topic, which is sexual and gender-based violence. I would like to know if there is any question maybe or regarding the previous sessions. Please, if you have a question, don't hesitate to write in the chat box. Yeah, we will help each other to brainstorm about it. Yes, as Henriette has been saying, or just at the end, she said that gender boxes, they limit what boys or men or women can do or girls can do. Surprisingly, it also most of the time put us in a place where we find ourselves or people find themselves committing violence against each other. That's where comes sexual and gender-based violence. Sexual and gender-based violence, they refers to those violence which are directed to an individual just because of their certain gender. And despite that is mainly happen to mainly affect women and girls, but also it can also be perpetrated against men and other peoples like LGBTQ plus individuals, where people just, can perpetrate violence to one another just because of their of certain gender. Yeah. And before maybe I go to the next slide, I would like to know from you, do you know any examples of SGBV? Are there any SGBV examples are you aware of? Just violence which is perpetrated against individual because of having certain gender? Put them in the chat, or maybe those who are in the hall can please raise up your hand and tell us. Okay. Since I don't see anyone so far, maybe it will come after. Let me continue to the next slide. There are common types of SGBV. One and the most which might be prominent one is physical violence. Physical violence, this is violence which is perpetrated against an individual and it intends to harm the body, to cause physical harms on a person, and it is perpetrated because that person is of a certain gender. It might be either a woman causing physical harm to a man, or a man causing physical harm to a woman. Yeah. But in many cultures, it is mainly, many men commit this type of violence against women. And this doesn't mean that also some women cannot commit this type of violence against men. Yeah, there is also sexual violence. And sexual violence, this is a violence which is done just targeting sexual parts of an individual, or forcing someone to into sexual activities without a consent. Here we can see like sexual exploitations, sexual abuse, or rape. Those are some examples of sexual violence. We have also psychological, emotional violence. This is a type of violence which is perpetrated against an individual mainly through words or activities that intend to intimidate, to bring fear, to put fear within an individual so that they can submit to sex, or unwillingly. For example, here, if an example of physical, or I mean psychological or emotional violence is when maybe, for example, if you tell a woman that you are weak, you are ugly, some words which like diminish her self-esteem. This might be psychological or emotional violence. Or if you tell an individual that if you don't give me sex, or if you don't allow that we sleep together, I won't give you this. Yeah, this is part of psychological and emotional violence. And you also have economic violence. This, I think, this is also very common, mainly in, yeah, we can see it in many sub-Saharan countries, for example, where women were not allowed to inherit within families, or they were not allowed to go to school, or they were not allowed to go to work, just because they are girls, because they are women. This is economic violence, because it is prohibiting individuals of certain gender to have access to economic activities. Yeah. So far, I would like to know, before we continue, if there is a question about what we discussed so far. Thank you so much. Let's continue to the next slide. There is what we call PSEH, which stands for Preventing Sexual Exploitation, Abuse and Harassment. When we say sexual exploitation, we mean any actual or attempted abuse of position, of vulnerability, differential power, or trust for sexual purposes. Any activities which is conducted with a person who is in power and over a person who is under that power, we can call it sexual exploitation. For instance, here, if we see an aid work or a humanitarian personnel asking a woman or a man just to have sex so that they can have access to certain benefits, that is sexual exploitation. And when we talk of sexual abuse, that is the actual or threatened physical intrusion of a sexual nature, whether by force or under an equal or coercive condition. Just forcing someone or attempting to force someone into sexual acts using force or any other means, that is sexual abuse. And also sexual harassment is any comment or any request or any words or any physical conduct that relates to sexual nature or that creates an intimidating or offensive environment. Here, when we say inappropriate comments, maybe if you see a girl or a man maybe passing around and let's take an example maybe for a girl, and you just say like, you know, you have big ribs or you have big nyash, like this trending term like nyash today. Then you say you have a big nyash. This will be regarded as sexual harassment toward that person, or just touching that person without his or her consent. And this reminded me when we were young boys, if I can say that. You could see like boys standing on the street and just whispering or just calling the girls passing by, even though they don't know them, they just throw certain words to them. Yeah, this is part of sexual harassment. And I think many people just perpetrate this sort of harassment unconsciously, maybe because they just grow seeing other doing that, and they just kept like doing it, hoping maybe it is appropriate. But this is really a very serious harassment to an individual who is being I hope so far there is no problem. If there is a problem, please raise up your hand or type in the chat. Yeah, we will attend to you. Thank you. Yeah, there are also forms or types of PSEH, where we can see transactional exploitation. Transactional exploitation, this is a type of exploitation, like explain the area, like where someone who is in a position just take advantages of vulnerable person who maybe he or she was supposed to be supporting or giving certain service, but it turns out that the person is giving that service out of having sex with that person. Like I said earlier, a humanitarian personnel or a leader in a certain sector just telling a person, you must sleep with me, you must have sex so that I give you or you have access to this type of service. Also, you have physical sexual abuse. Physical sexual abuse is when you try to touch or to physically influence someone into sex, and that person is not willing or has not consented to those activities. We also have psychological sexual abuse. This has something to do with like psychology. I think there is this example that I remember when I was in certain place in Burera, where I was having conversation with people and about gender, and this woman said, if my husband doesn't buy me kitenge, I won't give him a sex until he buys the kitenge. And I was like, why? And the woman was like, she said, a good man must buy his wife kitenge, must provide. And then if he's not providing, why should I give him a sex? And then when you talk to the husband, maybe who experienced that, they say it really causes psychological, sufferings. This is like a punishment. Yeah, this is not good. And I think, to me, this is an example of psychological sexual abuse, which was conducted against that man. But also, this is done against women, and I think it is our responsibility as young generation to do everything possible so that we can eradicate such abuse. Also, you have non-verbal sexual harassment. Like I said, if you do certain gestures which which are calling someone, forcing someone to go like to have a sex, or referring to sexual parts of an individual, or just using a word or comment, this is also part of or another type of PSEH, verbal or non-verbal sexual harassment. Yeah, I think I used to tell people that even if you meet a girl on the road and you say, you are beautiful, that is sexual harassment. And they were like, huh? How is that possible? But to me, yes, that is sexual harassment, because imagine if you don't know the person, you don't know what the person is passing through, and maybe you are calling her beautiful, and maybe she's having, negative connotation with such words. or you don't even know the person, by the way. Maybe even if you might know, maybe the mood yesterday is not the mood as she is or he is having today. So if you do it, then you call that person in a public place and you're like, or just somewhere else and you're like, you are beautiful. That to me sounds as sexual harassment. I know many people might not agree with me, and maybe we might agree to disagree, and you can do something just to minimize or to eradicate such harassment. And if we want to give a compliment to an individual, and maybe we say something specific that we like about that person, and we take the responsibility of that, instead of just throwing something general, you are beautiful, you are awesome. Yeah. How is it so far? How is it so far? Are you having questions? Please let us know. And in the chat, or raise up your hand. Can help you. We can help each other to discuss about this and have more knowledge and skills. So I'm going to the next part now. I would like to ask you a few questions, and then you will be telling me if they are sexual, and which kind of sexual violence you are going to lead, or listen if you cannot read, because I will be reading the question, and then you will write or might say words that describe the main form of violence from the question. It might be either harassment, exploitation, abuse, or rape. You ready? Okay, let's go. The first is, a teacher tells a student she can pass her exams if she agrees to go out with him. What do you think? Is this a sexual harassment, exploitation? Is it abuse, or is it rape? Yeah, this is an exploitation, because there is a power imbalance. Because here is a teacher who is having power over a student and is telling a student that I can give you marks, you can pass, but if you allow me to go out with you, and then this is sexual exploitation. The next statement is, a boy in the neighborhood keeps whistling and making sexual jokes every time a girl walks by. What do you think? Is this a sexual exploitation, harassment? Is it a rape? Is it an abuse? Yeah, this is obviously a sexual harassment, because those behavior of a boy were not contented with that girl, and she might even feel embarrassed or intimidated because of what the boy is doing. Remember, harassment comes with any form of attitude, behavior, or words, or jokes or comments which are made to an individual because of their certain gender. I think we also ask, I'm going to show you the last statement, and you tell me what is it. A man forces his girlfriend to have sex even though she keeps saying no. What do you think? What is this? It's okay. You can write in chat. You can raise up your hands and share with us what you think this statement is entiring. Yeah, this is a rape because it involves a persistence or a penetration or break or just forcing someone to have sex, but that person has not consented to that activity. Yes, before we continue, I would like to know again, would like to check with you, how is this? How so far are you getting along with the topics? Are you grasping something? Is it understandable? Do you see, have you recognized or have you seen this sort of sexual violence maybe in the community or where you are from? Yeah, then this is the time to start thinking on how you can contribute to eradicating these violences so that peace can prevail. Let's continue. We are going to see about consent. When we talk of consent, we've been saying consent, there was no consent of a person. Yeah, when we say consent, what do we mean? So before we continue, I continue by explaining what consent means. I would like to show you a short video about consent. It is called Tea and Consent. And yeah, the narrator uses the example of tea just to explain consent. Please watch and see. We will come back discussing about what we have seen or about consent.
With consent, just imagine instead of initiating sex, you're making them a cup of tea. You say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And they go, "Oh my God, I would love a cup of tea, thank you." Then you know they want a cup of tea. If you say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And they're like, I'm not really sure. Then you can make them a cup of tea, or not, but be aware that they might not drink it. And if they don't drink it, then, and this is the important bit, don't make them drink it. Just because you made it doesn't mean you're entitled to watch them drink it. And if they say, "No thank you," then don't make them tea. At all. Just don't make them tea. Don't make them drink tea. Don't get annoyed at them for not wanting tea. They just don't want tea, okay? They might say, "Yes please, that's kind of you." And then when the tea arrives, they actually don't want the tea at all. Sure, that's kind of annoying as you've gone to all the effort of making the tea, but they remain under no obligation to drink the tea. They did want tea, now they don't. Some people change their mind in the time it takes to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk. And it's okay for people to change their mind, and you are still not entitled to watch them drink it. And if they are unconscious, don't make them tea. Unconscious people don't want tea, and they can't answer the question, "Do you want tea?" because they're unconscious. Okay, maybe they were conscious when you asked them if they wanted tea, and they said yes, but in the time it took you to boil the kettle or brew the tea and add the milk, they are now unconscious. You should just put the tea down, make sure the unconscious person is safe, and this is the important part again, don't make them drink the tea. They said yes then, sure, but unconscious people don't want tea. If someone said yes to tea, started drinking it, and then passed out before they'd finished it, don't keep on pouring it down their throat. Take the tea away. Make sure they are safe, because unconscious people don't want tea. Trust me on this. If someone said yes to tea around your house last Saturday, that doesn't mean they want you to make them tea all the time. They don't want you to come around to their place unexpectedly and make them tea and force them to drink it, going, "But you wanted tea last week," or to wake up to find you pouring tea down their throat going, "But you wanted tea last night." If you can understand how completely ludicrous it is to force people to have tea when they don't want tea, and you are able to understand when people don't want tea, then how hard is it to understand when it comes to sex? Whether it's tea or sex, consent is everything. And on that note, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea.
Thank you. How was the video for you? What did you see? Yeah. Consent. It is an informed, voluntary, and wholehearted agreement to engage in a specific act, especially sexual activity, as we are talking about sexual and gender-based violence here. Consent, we are referring to sexual activity. Yeah, it is a decision that a person make voluntarily from within the heart, and they say, yes, I agree to this. And in order to make that decision, there are the key points that a person must know, or there are the key points for a consent to be a consent. Not everything, not every time that a person say yes to certain thing, really means it is a consent to everything that you are thinking. This means a consent must be given freely, as we said, no pressure, no force, no obligation, just a person willingly from within the heart saying yes to that action that you are requesting for. And it must be informed, or a person must be informed, having the details of what is going to be done, and very specific activity of what is going to happen. What are we going to do? So that the person say yes, knowing what is included in the activities, what is going to be done. If it is sex, yes, just speak it out as it is, and what would you like from the person, so that the person say, I can agree to this, or I disagree completely, because A, B, C, D. And yeah, I think, remember, they don't even have to give you explanations of why they said no, because they might just feel no, or they might even not feel secure to give you explanation. But giving details about what you are really requesting to a person helps the person to make a consent, yeah, with information, having information. Like from the video, as we have seen, if the person says, I want a tea, and then you bring a tea, after bringing a tea, and then the person say, I no longer want a tea, this means a consent must be reversible. It can be revoked. A person can say yes, can give a consent to sex, and then maybe while you are in the process, and the person say, please stop, I don't feel like I can do it. And then if you can, there is no room in your heart that the person can revoke the consent, then it is not the consent, because the consent can be revoked at any time due to different circumstances or situation. When we talk of consent, also capacity is important, or position or power. Who are the people having or coming to the consent? Is it a teacher and a student? Isn't there any power influence? Because sometimes I think that is why in many countries, if you sleep with an underage, they don't consider, even if whatever you can say, if that person said yes or not, they just punish you, because they consider it that you have influenced that person who is not yet ready to make a decision on what to do with his or her life. So that's why capacity is very important when it comes to consent. And then last but not least, it is that consent is not one time for all. Just because this person gave consent today, it doesn't mean always and forever the person consented to that activity. If maybe a girl or a boy said yes to sex today, it doesn't mean even tomorrow and after tomorrow or every hour or every minute it is a yes. No. A consent is very specific and it has time bound, if I can say. So that's why it is very important that always we ask consent to individuals. I would like to know from you, how is it so far? How do you see consent? Okay. Please, if you have a question, type in the chat, raise up your hand, or just let us know. So that we can discuss, so that we can fully understand the concept. Get informed about it. If you have a question, now you are mostly welcome to ask. I think okay. I've learned from the YENA program coordinators that we will have enough time in the camp to discuss about this concept again. So maybe it is a good time for you to reflect on the concept and note down the questions, what comes in your mind, so that we will have an interactive and participatory discussion about this concept during the camp. Thank you very much for your presence. I'm really moved and excited that you were here. Your presence makes me feel happy, and I'm really glad for contributing for this session to happen. Thank you very much. Thank you also, Henriette, for facilitating with me this session. See you then.
See you.
Thank you.